So we all know Xbox has kind of taken a bit of a weird turn in the past week or so. They decided to really raise the prices of the Xbox Game Pass, which doesn't make any sense in my opinion, because, well, why do you need to raise the prices? No, I could be wrong in saying this, but I think they did say to the FTC that they weren't going to raise the Game Pass prices. And I knew they were only going to say that, or they were going to say that to save their bacon into trying to get this deal, because they couldn't get this deal if they probably didn't say that. So they said, yeah, we won't raise the Game Pass prices. Although I don't know why people actually believe that, because, well, what do you expect? They're putting Call of Duty, they're putting a $70 game on there. They're going to try and make some money. I don't think Game Pass, in its way, I don't know if it's actually profitable, for Xbox. I couldn't tell you. Most of it, or how much, they're probably making upwards of 3 to 4 billion a year from Game Pass. That's without any spending. That's just how much they're probably getting from, probably a bit more now, I don't know. But they're getting quite a lot from Game Pass, and that's quite obvious. However, they've been in a little bit of hot water about lying about this and lying about putting the price up. Again, it was inevitable they were going to put the price up. I don't know why everyone's annoyed. You kind of should have expected that they were going to put the price up. Yeah, I'm a little bit like, why? But it is what it is, unfortunately. There's nothing you can do about it. But crying about it clearly isn't going to help the situation. It's just going to it's going to do nothing, to be honest. So Microsoft did respond to the FTC. As responded to the FTC filing about Xbox Game Pass increase, it calls the FTC's letter a misleading extra recorded account of facts, and it says the FTC is wrong to call Game Pass Standard a degraded version because it includes multiplayer. So this is the FTC right here. Molly Dawer. Molly Daw, the FTC rule letter presents misleading extra record account of the fact is commission of agencies with attempts to reinvest case on appeal. Earlier this month, Microsoft announced changes to its gaming subscription service Game Pass to provide consumers with valuable options at different price points. Microsoft is offering a new service tier, Game Pass Standard, which offers access to hundreds of back catalog games and multiplayer functionality for $14.99 a month. Is it wrong to call it a degraded version of a discontinued Game Pass? For console offering, that discontinued product did not offer multiplayer functionality, which had to be purchased separately for an individual $9.99 a month, making the total cost $20.98. I think the original Game Pass actually didn't include online. I could be wrong in saying that. I don't think it did, the original Game Pass. But that was quite a while ago. That was a long time. I've never had Game Pass console, so I don't know. Did it not include online? I if I remember correctly, like, I'm talking about old Game Pass, like 2018 Game Pass, when Game Pass was like just becoming a little bit more popular. And a few people had it. Very few games, to be honest, on it. Very, very few compared to what it is now. Now, do I think it's degraded? I don't know. It's not really surprising. Again, I don't even know why the FTC is very surprised at this. They said all this shit to try and get through, and it worked. And now FTC are looking at this like, oh shit, we made a mistake. Oh no. Let's backtrack. And they try to backtrack, and this is the absolute mess you drag yourself in. While Game Pass's ultimate price will increase to $16.99 to $19.99 a month, didn't it already increase last year, I think? I don't. It used to be a lot cheaper than that, I think. The cost of the service will offer more value through many new games available day and date. Among them is upcoming releases of Call of Duty, which has never been available on a subscription day to date. I don't think it has. No, it hasn't. Call of Duty has never been on a subscription. So they're going to be losing a lot of money on putting that on Game Pass. I mean, it's a $70 game. The first game that looks like it's going to be released is the recent Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 2023. That will be probably, I don't know when on earth that'll be released. However, I think it's going to be released in July or later this month. Sorry, July. Later this month, we might end up seeing the FTC barely mentioned subscription at trial, instead focusing on the theory that Microsoft would withhold Call of Duty from Sony's console. Yeah, that was a lot of talk from FTC. It was sort of Sony and FTC against Microsoft. I think Google chimed in. I don't know, but. It was a bit stupid. Everything was going all crazy. I remember that FT. Oh, it was annoying to see. It kept going back and forth, back and forth. It was the FTC was saying, "Well, you're going to use this as a monopoly against Sony and this and." Not speaking about the monopoly and the exclusivity that Sony got out. Oh, but yes, Microsoft did have exclusivity for Call of Duty. But it wasn't like the PlayStation era. Number one, beta. They got almost 2 weeks of beta before anyone else. Now, I don't think that, okay, it's not the end of the world, but still, it's a bit like, whoa. You know, you're going on about the monopoly type of thing. You're literally giving them 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I remember they released in 2020, April 2020, they released a game called Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. It was pretty much they just released a game with a campaign from the original Modern Warfare. Yes, that was available on PlayStation a whole month early. A full game. Well, half a game. A month early, which is, I'm not saying it's a monopolization, but it's a bit rich from Sony to come out and say and complain about things like that when I wouldn't really say they've been the best type of people when it comes to this sort of stuff and retreating and keeping stuff away from other platforms like PC and Xbox. You know, that's kind of what PlayStation are known for. You know, that when it comes to it's pretty much a console that's known for exclusives. Other than that, it's, well, just a console, PlayStation. But yeah, they were very vocal at the FTC when this whole was going down. I think it was last year. It was a back and forth deal that. It was just Sony going back and forth and complaining to Microsoft about various other things like you're gonna stop Call of Duty. It was pretty much them just saying we don't want Call of Duty abandoned and, you know, taken off the PlayStation platform, which I don't get why Microsoft would do that. There's money in the PlayStation platform. There's money in putting Call of Duty on PlayStation for a starter. So why would you take it off? It's quite clear. Microsoft has started to put their own games on because they've seen the potential in PlayStation's sales and stuff like that, and they've seen the potential in how PlayStation and how many players it's got compared to Xbox. So I don't think it's a sort of a monopoly type of thing for Microsoft and Xbox to do that sort of stuff. I don't understand why Sony made a big deal of it. Now, obviously, the Game Pass increases. Sony did the exact same thing last year with the PlayStation. So, I think they put it up like $20 or something from what I heard, which was it's incredible. I think that they have 3 tiers, which one of their tiers is actually more than Game Pass combined. I think it's like $150 something a month, from me remembering that. And their lowest tier is like I think $70 a month or something like that. So Game Pass is what? A year, I think like $200 a year. So it's a little bit more. Okay, no, it is a little bit more. But that's for their highest tier, which does include EA Play. I think in EA Play, and then you get PC Game Pass. I think within the Ultimate, I think it's PC Game Pass, or you did. I'm not too sure. I haven't checked the proper thing, but you get PC Game Pass and console Game Pass. So if you have a PC, you can use that. Although at that point, why would you own an Xbox? I don't know. Anyway, let's get back onto the FTC letter. That Microsoft would hold Call of Duty from Sony. The distinct court correctly rejected that theory, which is now further eroded by Microsoft and Sony's 10-year agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. I'm pretty sure they've actually got an agreement with Nintendo, yes, to put Call of Duty on the Switch. I think they've even got a deal with Steam to keep Call of Duty on Steam. They went out and just got a deal with everyone. They said, you know what, Sony's complaining, let's get a deal with everyone. Let's just sort this whole thing out and get down to the bottom of this and not mess about anymore and just get this done. Everybody who owns or everybody who wants Call of Duty on their platform, let's do it. While the FTC, a contract Sony was thrilled to enter, while the Sony has now tried to shift focus to its alleged subscription market, its letter does not map onto agreements below, setting aside that it's common for business to change service offering over in time. The FTC's case in all of the alleged market has been premised on virtual foreclosure, i.e. that Microsoft would withhold Call of Duty from rivals and therefore harm competition. But even in an alleged subscription market, Call of Duty is not being withheld from anyone who wants it, and there remains no... So that's it. I think, that's the basic thing from Sony. It calls the FTC letter misleading extra record account for facts and says the FTC is wrong to call Game Pass standard degraded version because it includes multiplayer. So yeah, I know they're talking a lot about the last year with Sony and how they sort of treated themselves. I know that was a horrible thing to watch. I think it took months and months because it was just back and forth. Sony complaining to Xbox saying like that they really wanted to keep PlayStation. I thought that console is more popular than Xbox and would survive. Although I don't think Call of Duty would do well just on Xbox and PC. It would take a hit. I think it's better to have it on all platforms, and of course they are putting there's a beta, obviously, with Call of Duty. The beta will be allowed on every platform at once. So it used to be PlayStation would get like 2 weeks of beta time before anyone else, 1 to 2 weeks. And then what would happen is then the other two would have, what would happen is it would be a private beta. So people who pre-ordered the game for PlayStation. Then what would happen, it would open up the next week and then it would become a public beta for people who own a PlayStation. So you don't need to this. And then what would happen is people who are on PC and Xbox would have to pre-order to get the private beta. They'd have to pre-order the private beta. And then at the week 2 for that, they would get then the open beta. So essentially, if you didn't want to pre-order it and you owned a PC or an Xbox, you'd have to wait till the very end. You would only get a week to play. So it wouldn't be very long to play. It would be very short to play. So it would, it kind of sort of restricting. It's like buy a PlayStation at that point, bro. Type of thing. It's like, wow. PlayStation talking about that is kind of rich. Now, obviously, it's obvious people aren't too happy on the Game Pass subscription rise. And yeah, there's nothing wrong in saying that. I think that is not a bad thing. This is FTC's response. The FTC has called this from Tom Warren. The FTC is calling Microsoft's new Game Pass standard tier a degraded product in a filing with the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. The FTC claims Microsoft is exercising market power post-merger of Activision Blizzard. So this is from the Federal Trade Commission. Molly Daw, it's the same person. The Federal Trade Commission writes to alert the courts to Microsoft announced price increase in multi-billion multi-game subscription and cloud gaming markets, which the district court formed reveal to the merger analysis. Microsoft is raising the price of Game Pass product to $16.99 a month to $19.99 a month, a 17% year-over-year increase. Additionally, Microsoft discontinued its $10 a month console Game Pass product. Users of that product must pay 81% more to switch to Game Pass Ultimate. For consumers unwilling to pay 81% more, Microsoft is introducing a degraded product, Game Pass Standard, at $14.99 a month. This product costs 36% more than console Game Pass and withholds day one service combined with price increases for existing users. Is exactly the sort of consumer harm from merger the FTC has alleged. Microsoft price increase, price degradation compared with Microsoft's reduced investments in the output quality via employee layoffs. 7th of February letter. Okay, so this was the 18th of July. So what is this whole thing? Is Microsoft lied? I know, again, the whole Game Pass, putting the Game Pass up, caused a lot of row on Twitter, especially, and that's not a surprise. I was a little bit unhappy as well. I mean, it's gone up quite a fair bit. It's $20.99 now, I think. I think it's more than that. I don't know, but it's quite a lot of money. That is quite a lot of money for a subscription. Now, obviously, it's gonna. I'm presuming there has only been one proper game, one Call of Duty that is going to be released, and as I said, it's going to be 2023 Modern Warfare. There's very little information on when we will see many other Call of Duties be released on Game Pass. In my opinion, I don't think it's really worth anything yet, Game Pass, until they start adding a lot of the older Call of Duties to Game Pass, and some of the older Activision games as well, Blizzard games, because to me anyway, it makes it look like it's like, wow, you put this price up for this, but yeah, you've only added two. I think they've added at the moment. Well, it will be two soon. Activision Blizzard games. So yeah, not really good at the moment. I don't know what they're kind of withholding Call of Duty at the moment. They're trying to drip feed it into Game Pass, presuming so it doesn't hurt the future of Call of Duty. I don't know. It makes no sense, to be honest, but it is what it is. You know, it's Microsoft. I don't think anything makes sense and has made sense at that company for a long time with Xbox. You know, Xbox has kind of been it's been a weird place, and it doesn't make any sense to me, to be quite honest with you. It's all over the place. I mean, again, there was a row at the beginning of this year about exclusives and how the loyalty and stuff like that. They weren't very loyal, Microsoft. They were very quiet on what they were going to do with the future of Xbox. They were very quiet on the whole thing. They didn't speak much about it. And when they did, they decided just to reveal it and be like, yeah. But it took them almost a week just to do that. So a lot of people lost quite a fair bit of trust within Microsoft, which it doesn't surprise me. And then the whole Game Pass thing, while Game Pass is a good thing, I don't see anything of the reason why or what worth it anyway at the moment of the Game Pass being a little bit raised up. We haven't even seen many Call of Duties on it. Until I see a good chunk of the older Call of Duties at least, and newer Call of Duties released on there, I'm not really going to be like, yeah, the Game Pass is worth it for that bit. Again, we'll see. I'm presuming they're going to drip feed them games in. Not too sure why. But that's what I guess anyway. But yeah, Microsoft has sort of fallen on Xbox just lately. They aren't doing it well. Management clearly isn't doing that company well. I don't really know what's happening at Xbox and Microsoft. It doesn't seem well anyway. It seems all over the place. and the FTC are actually having a go at them again. I mean, I think they did lie in their FTC, so hey, sad time, sad time.